The far right is not the new normal. If you listen to Donald Trump, and if you listen to many commentators around the world, you would believe that overnight his election changed everything, and the far right are now the dominant force within politics the world over. That's not true. Most people did not change their political opinion because Donald Trump walked into the White House. The majority of people in the USA are already showing significant disquiet with what he is doing. The backlash is growing against the Republicans. But the Republicans are not yet swayed. They believe that hate is the new normal, but it isn't. They believe that attacking migrants is the new normal, but it isn't. They believe that destruction, as represented by the activities of Elon Musk, is the way to build the future, but it isn't. They believe that criticizing experts and denying the truth is now normal, but it isn't, because most people demand evidence-based truth. They believe that equality is bad, but most people instinctively believe in it, as they have done since they were children, who evidence that this is the normal state of human nature. They believe that indifference is the basis for policy, and most people don't. Most people care. Most people want to ensure that everybody has at least some opportunity in life, even if we can't create equal opportunity for all. There is therefore nothing normal at all about what Donald Trump and the Republicans are doing, or what Nigel Farage and the Reform Party in the UK are doing, or what the AfD in Germany is doing, and so on around the other countries where we are seeing a rise in right-wing rhetoric, sentiment, and electoral support. These people are out of touch with reality. This is not how human nature is. But that said, they have caught the zeitgeist in one way. People the world over are fed up with normal. Normal has been neoliberalism. Neoliberalism is the philosophy that was introduced by Ronald Reagan and Margaret Thatcher in 1980, which swept the world and removed the Keynesian logic which had existed from 1945 until 1980, and which delivered the longest period of sustained well-being and growth in human history. Neoliberalism has not done that. Its belief in free markets, in privatization, in globalization, in austerity measures, and in individual self-reliance has actually led us to the situation where we are stagnating, where the state is undermined, but there is nothing to replace it in terms of delivery of services, where people know that they're paying taxes without getting value because too much is being diverted to the resources of private companies who are profiting as a consequence, and they want change. But what do they want when they talk about change? They could, of course, stick with the normal, but we know that that is history. We could move to the far right, which is the chaos which Trump and all his lookalikes around the world are offering. And that is not consistent with what human beings want. They want stability. They want sustainability. They want fairness. They want justice. They want order. And none of that is being offered by what Trump and co are delivering. Or they could want managed change. We are at a point where what we're seeing is a political system that is demanding change, but which only the far right are offering. The difficulty is that there is no moderate agenda for change. And that is the problem we have. We know that the normal has failed. We know that the far right can't offer us solutions. The problem is, how do we get something better? A people-focused, a sustainable vision of politics, a vision that puts policy outcomes rather than policy differences as being the priority. A politics that looks at solutions which deliver for people as being the essential definition of success, rather than simple point scoring between parties. A system that actually says inequality is the curse that we have to solve, because unless we do, we will leave far too many people behind at a cost to humankind as a result that is unsustainable. A system that recognizes that we don't just live in the moment, but which recognizes that we live in a time continuum, and therefore we have to take into consideration the fact that our current actions have consequences, including climate change. A system that says there has to be a recognition of differences, so that people with different viewpoints on a subject will have to find common ground to develop solutions that are acceptable to most, which implies that electoral change is required in countries like the USA and the UK, where polar opposites are supposedly the basis of party politics, although the reality doesn't quite always look like that. And a system where, in the end, what matters are people more than anything else, meaning that the emphasis upon finance, which has dominated neoliberal government thinking, has to come to an end, because finance is our servant, not our master. That's a massive change. The far right is not normal. Caring in the way that I've just described is normal. It was denied by neoliberalism. Neoliberalism was created to quite deliberately increase inequality, increase wealth for a few, and focus upon the way in which business could be emphasized and the power of banking could be developed at cost to the many. It was a political system designed on the basis of prejudice to produce unequal outcomes. The new normal has to be the opposite of that. The new normal has to be about, literally, fairness for people. The new normal is not the far right. The new normal is not neoliberalism. The new normal is waiting to be born. But the new normal is going to have to be a world where people come first, planet comes second, and finance comes a decided last.